Hey, this is Kat of Kattalestv. Let me change the slide a little bit. So, I promised to do a video about my thoughts on Khabib versus Conor. So, let me just tell you where I'm at. I'm in Vegas. Yes, I know it's crazy. I've been all over the place. But I wanted to talk about that UFC 229 presser, the first one, first. There were so many things going on with that presser. One thing that annoyed me, I assume both fighters are coming to their arrival in the same way, through the same door, because I've never been to Radio City Music Hall, so I didn't know what was going on. But it turns out Khabib had arrived on the opposite side of Radio City Music Hall. There's very little fans there because not many people on the side that I was on, they didn't know that Khabib was going to the opposite side. So there was tons of people there, and when Conor arrived, it was crazy. So when Conor rolled up in his Rolls Royce, and then when he had the two belts, and he was energizing the crowd, screaming and stuff like that. And he went inside, did his business, and when he was in. And that's funny. He did do his business. He promoted his proper 12 whiskey. He offered Dana White a drink. He offered Khabib a drink, even though Khabib's a devout Muslim, and it was slightly, another psychological warfare game that Conor likes to play. But also, his name, he mentions to everyone at that time, and Dana reminds him, proper 12 whiskeys is sponsoring the fight. Conor's fighting with Khabib. That is brilliant marketing, but I literally was aghast. It was just like one hit after the other that Conor was doing on so many multiple levels. He's got Dana in his pocket. Without Conor, the UFC is really boring, and Conor sells a fight. So not only did he do that, but he talked about Khabib's dad, talked about Russia, talked about Chechnya, that he had people teaching him how to fight. He pretty much called Khabib's father a coward. I mean, like I said, Conor is one of the greatest mind effers I've ever seen in my life. He actually surprises me on occasion, which is very interesting, because I hate to say it, but I like to hate Conor lately, because he's been doing some crazy stuff. Promoting Putin, putting his arm around him, the whole Dolly incident or whatever the hell it was against the bus. I really wasn't into that at all, and I've said that. So, one of the things I really wanted to say, but I've been holding back when it comes to Conor is that when I said to Khabib that he's my favorite fighter like 8 months ago, that is true. Khabib is my favorite fighter. A pure fighter. Conor is a general, and I like people who think and are on multiple layers above other people and keep you on your toes and educate you while you watch them. Conor does that. So, I want to say this and say it very clear. Yes, Khabib is a fighter, but he's not a general. He's not running UFC. He's not making it so much money that he's indispensable, where to me, Conor is. So, going back to today, which is the open air workout, Conor shows up in a Rolls Royce. I believe his family is growing. They might be expecting another baby. But you didn't hear that from me. But Khabib leaves in the SUV, and it's just different. It seems to be like Conor has every advantage when it comes to the fan base, when it comes to Dana being in his pocket, which is also dangerous because that could work against him and he might take it for granted and get his ass whooped. But originally, I honestly believed Khabib was going to win. Like, brutally, I thought. But after that UFC presser, the first one, and I saw how when Conor left the Radio City Music Hall, he moved so fast, and it was getting later in the day. I didn't use a flash, but my camera was having difficulty stopping the action. Now, I know a lot of people were moving around. They might have bumped into me a couple times, but regardless of which, he moved like unbelievably fast. It really freaked me out. I was shocked. And a long time ago, I did a video with Stallone where I'm talking to him about Conor McGregor, and I compared him to Bruce Lee. And I'm telling you, I might have been right then, because the speed and the agility and the accuracy that Conor has should never be underestimated. And of course, the ground game Khabib has should never be underestimated. But these two and their fighting styles are going to be one of the greatest matchups ever. I mean, I'm so exhausted. I don't even sound excited, but when I'm not exhausted, I'm really excited about this fight. But it's a huge, big business. Don't get it twisted. The other thing I want to talk about with Conor is not only does he use psychological warfare against Khabib, he uses psychological warfare against everyone. He's not just playing for now. He's playing for the future. And I see him duplicating or exceeding what Schwarzenegger did. Schwarzenegger planned out his life. He really wanted to be president, but because he's an Austrian, born in Austria, he can't be the president of the United States. But Conor's Irish, and I believe he will run for some type of office eventually in his neck of the woods. But don't be surprised if you see Conor duplicating or exceeding not only Schwarzenegger, but quite possibly Bruce Lee. You didn't hear that from me, but whatever, that's what I think. We're talking legendary status. Now, this could be really funny. I could be totally wrong, but I really don't think so. But I want to say this. Regardless of what happens on Saturday night, I'm going to talk very truthfully. Several years ago, when I first started really getting into UFC and watching Conor rise up the ranks, I was going through a very difficult time. It was extremely stressful and kept going and going and going and going. And I got very down and things were not much fun. And I was in considerable amount of pain. Oh, excuse me. But I don't know when exactly. But somehow I watched Conor fight Aldo. And when he knocked him out, it gave me such pleasure. Not because it was Aldo per se, just the fact that Conor was a cocky bastard. He meant what he said. He wasn't afraid to be what he was. And he said what he was going to do and he did it. I was like, hell yeah. So Conor was my hero. And somehow I used his energy to, like, I focused on that instead of some of my problems. So there will always be a special spot for Conor, even when I hate him, when he's fucking around with Putin. But I just wanted to share that with you. And that's why it was really, I thought, important to let him know that when he did that thing with the bus, that was beneath where he wants to go. His future is so bright that he doesn't need to do hooligan ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you're a hero to so many people, whether you realize it or not, there's consequences for doing violent acts. So I'll just leave that there. So anyway, thank you for watching this video and liking my other videos if you've seen them. I have fans that, you know, they've seen a lot of my videos. And I meet people every day. I'm working on a bunch of different videos too. I've talked to some really cool people during my travels recently, and I'm going to bring some of our conversations to my channel. But I appreciate you guys for watching and supporting Kattalestv TV. If you'd like, please buy a t-shirt. I'm on Redbubble, Kattalestv TV. I think it's Kattalestv TV. Anyway, there's links below. You can subscribe. I'm on Twitter if you want to follow me, and Instagram. Again, thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to that fight on Saturday. Like my earrings. Aren't these cute? These little star earrings. They're fab. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.